YouTube, what's going on, bro? Long time no see. Well, we gotta start off this video like we do every other video from now on. What are you doing, Shuba? Good, because I'm pretty freaking excited for Yuel myself. Yuel's going to be coming out for the Asian regions tonight and for everybody else tomorrow. As of right now, the special moves and the moves list for the character has been released in the Japanese version of the Granblue Fantasy Versus website, and it's been translated by the Twitter account Granblue EN, which translates literally everything to do with Granblue. And since there was a Granblue Fantasy festival that went on recently, he translated literally everything. He's doing God's work over there. Make sure to give him a follow if you want to know anything about Granblue Fantasy. As of right now, we're going to be taking a look at the movesets. We're going to be reading off of the translations from Granblue EN on my phone. I also want to mention that the translation that you're going to be seeing on screen is the Google translation of the descriptions that we're about to see. So they're not completely accurate and they're not necessarily great for reading by ourselves. That's why I'm reading off of Granblue EN's translation. So without further ado, let's get into her special moves. So before we get into the actual moveset of the character, let's get into a little bit of her lore. I don't know too much about her or about Granblue Fantasy in general, but I know just a little bit enough to get by. So if there's anybody who knows a lot more about Yuel, feel free to comment in the comment section down below and let me know who she is and what she does and what she has done. I always love reading those type of comments, so I can learn a little bit more about the characters. But anyways, she's basically an Irun character that controls the Fox Flame, which is an ancient power. You see it in the trailer. It's all flamey and all cool and badass looking. And she's considered to be royalty because she has a tail. And apparently, Iruns that have tails are considered to be royalty. So that's a pretty cool fact about her as well. She's really good friends with Societ, which is the character you saw in the trailer, the white-haired looking Irun, and also other Iruns that she treats like family, such as Yu and Ko, which are two other Irun characters. If you want to look them up, you most definitely can. They're all adorable and they're all awesome. But Yuel is basically a dual-wielding Irun royalty character. She's pretty freaking cool. So now that we went over her character just a smidge, let's go ahead and get into her move list. So the first ability, she dashes forward and strikes multiple times. We saw this in the trailer. It's a multi-strike essentially. The EX version actually leads to a wall bounce, which we also saw in the trailer. And if you press the unique action, she actually goes into stance. So she has this unique mechanic where after her special moves, she can go into stance afterwards, which is really cool. I don't know if it's only on hits or if it's both on hit or on block, but I think that's pretty cool because your stance mechanic is pretty awesome. You will see in just a moment. But this is her first move. It's basically like a flurry, like a Berserker Barrage type of move for Yuel. The second ability is going to be her DP, and it's basically what it is. It's a invincible reversal. It's a get off me move. If you've never heard of a DP, it's basically a get off me move, a Shoryuken, a Dragon Punch. So the light and medium version can be air blocked, but the EX version cannot. And just like the previous special move, this move can also go into unique stance, so she can do some really cool things like that. But as of right now, this is her invincible reversal, which is good because she can play certain matchups a lot easier than other characters. Most characters don't have DPs or invincible reversals, but because Yuel is going to have one, I think she's going to be a great character. The third ability that she has is basically a backdash with invul. And what this reminds me of, if you guys played BlazBlue or BB Tag, Mai Natsume had a command backdash or a command hop where if you press course to go back, she kind of like hops backwards. It has invincibility, but not frame 1. It's like frame 3 or something like that. And then she goes into a specific move if she wants to. I think she does something similar, but you have to commit to it, unlike Mai's in BlazBlue. So anyways, the medium version, you actually have to block low. And the heavy version, you also have to block low, I imagine. The light version, I don't know if it's just a hop or if it's also another follow-up. I imagine the light version is just the hop and not the low. And the medium and heavy one are the hop and low. And just like the other moves, you can also cancel it, or at the end of the move, you can go into stance, which is really cool. So, with that being said, we're moving on to her fourth ability. And unfortunately, Granblue EN actually missed it on his patch notes translation, but it's basically a move where she goes into a stance like that, like with it, she channels her like Fox fire power, and she does like this crazy, weird multi-hitting fire move where it kind of sucks them in or it kind of leaves them in place, and you can continue comboing afterwards in mid-screen. I think that's only for the EX version though. I don't know if the other versions allow you to do this. If they do allow you to do this, that would be extremely good. But I'm pretty sure just like Belial can, you can use the EX version of this move to basically combo or continue comboing. Now, I saw this a little bit in the trailer, and I don't know if you can do like auto combo into this move, EX Fenfire, whatever this move is called, into another auto combo, into whatever else. If she is another character that can combo mid-screen, she's already automatically extremely good. Having an invincible reversal, mid-screen combos, really good wall bounces, and has a stance mechanic that we're going to get into in just a moment. So this is a really cool move that I'm really hoping does all the things I just said. Next up is her actual unique move, which is her stance. So she goes into the stance. She basically kind of like kneels down and gets into one leg. It's called the third dance stance. She basically goes into stance, and she has follow-ups out of these stances. So Yuel goes into her stance or exits her stance. While she's in stance, she cannot move normally or block, but will perform Eye of the Sparrow. Now, Eye of the Sparrow is a specific move that I'll get into a little bit later, but it's really, really cool. So this doesn't specifically say if you can just cancel the stance while you go into it manually. It does say that you can cancel or go out of her stance when you do your special move, and then you go into stance, and you can exit stance by doing the unique move. But I don't know if you can just press unique twice and just kind of go into stance and go out of stance immediately. I don't know if you have to commit to the stance as soon as you go into it when you go into it manually, if you know what I'm saying. So the first thing that she does in stance is her dash changes. So while in stance, Yuel's forward movement becomes a dash with a set distance. Her back dash changes as well. So it's basically some new movement that she does while in stance. The second thing that you can do in stance is her stance attack. So while Yuel is in third dance stance, she will not be able to use her normal moves or abilities. Instead, she will have a new set of attacks. If you press the unique during the animation, she will exit stance under the attack, or after the attack, I apologize. The next thing she does in stance is Gurren, which is an advancing attack. Yuel basically exits her stance when she does this move and when it ends. If you hold down the heavy button while you do this, she travels even further. Now, we saw this in the trailer. It's basically Percival was charging up and she advanced forward. Either way, it's basically an advancing move that she has when she's in stance, which can be pretty cool if used correctly. The next thing she can do in stance is called Moonrise. Now, this is probably my favorite thing that you can do in stance. Basically, when you go into stance, she attacks with a backflip, and after the move ends, she automatically leaves her stance, of course. It's got quite a bit of recovery, but if it hits, it'll launch, and she will be able to follow up with a combo. We saw this a little bit when she was doing some of her anti-air combos. She basically did anti-air into stance, into moon flip, into the combo. So I think this is probably my favorite thing about her, because let me tell you, I love, kind of like moon flip or back flip type moves. Some characters that I really like that have similar moves like this is like Asuka from Tekken 7, Seth from Street Fighter 5. Anyone's like with a cartwheel kick. I love it. I love it. And the last thing she can do is basically Eye of the Sparrow, which is an invul attack. And this move activates automatically against high attacks, but not projectiles, while in stance. If you stay in stance and you try to attack her, similarly to kind of like an auto parry, we saw this a little bit with Belial's actual counter. She did, I think, 2C into stance, and with the stance, it basically does like an auto parry. This doesn't work for projectiles though. That's the only thing it doesn't work on, and it doesn't work on specific moves that hit specifically. So what I mean by that is this only counters high attacks. High attacks are categorized as moves that you can block crouching and standing. So basically, sweeps are not high attacks. Overheads are not high attacks. High attacks are basically everything else, which is like 95% of a character's moves are high attacks. Keep that in mind. I still have to test out a little bit more about this because this seems a little bit wonky. I don't know if it lasts the entire time you're in that stance, because there has to be at least a window of opportunity for you to hit her. So I don't know how long the parry window is for this move, but it's an interesting move regardless. And then after that, we have her Scart, which is an advancing strike with some invul. If it connects, Yuel slashes the enemy with multiple times. This move travels far and is good for attacking from a distance. Cool. And then her super Scart, which is an invul attack. Yuel dances and creates a whirling flame around her. This move will draw the enemy in, and if it hits at a close range, Societe joins her in the dance to finish the foe. That's cool, man. I like how they introduce other characters. So I don't know if this means that Societe is basically not going to be coming to Granblue Fantasy Versus, but it's cool to see them regardless. And that's pretty much her entire moveset there. I do like how she's very unique with her stance, because we have stance characters. We have Narmaya and I think, and also Vasaraga. Those characters are really, really cool with their stances, but this is a different type of stance, which is good, because I'm not a huge fan of, you know, copy pasting specific move sets or similar move traits. So this is a very unique one. I do like how she also has specific moves that are invul, and you have to be able to know how to be able to hit her, like her backdash move that she has that's invul, like her stance parry. You have to know how to hit her there as well. So I think she's going to be a really good character. She also looks like she has multi-hitting normals, like close 5H, like JH. I saw from this helicopter-looking move in the trailer, and it hit multiple times. So I don't know what that's going to be like, but I hope it's freaking ridiculous. So she's looking to be a very promising character and really good. That's what I'm really excited about, because Yuel is a character that I'm very much planning on maining. And I know I say that about a lot of characters. Well, I don't really say that about a lot of characters. I just pick up a lot of characters. But I am interested in maining Yuel, because she seems very much like my playstyle. So I like rush down, get in that booty type of characters, and this is definitely a character like that. With that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys are thinking about picking up Yuel. As of right now, she's not out, but I will be streaming later on today. So if you are watching this video the same day it came out, more than likely I'm streaming, and I'm testing her out and seeing what the new updates are like. I did hear that there's a new balance patch update that's coming out right now with Yuel, and the notes are out, so I might be making another video based on the patch notes, or I'm going to be doing it live on stream. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys tonight or next time for some more Granblue Fantasy Versus. Take care, guys.